Hey, welcome back, all you action figure enthusiasts. It's me, your boy Hebot, the host of Toys in My Closet. You know me, I'm your video game aficionado as well. And today we're going to take a quick dive into the Mcfarlane Toys Adult Collectible 7-inch scale My Hero Academia Wave 2. And as you can see here, I have the boxes already placed out and splayed out for all of your viewing glory. And we have Ochako, Uraraka, Shoto, Todoroki, and Ijiro Karashima. Now, I know I'm not pronouncing those names nowhere near correct, but I'm trying to do my best. And I mean no disrespect to all you My Hero Academia fans out there. And real quick, before anything, a real quick disclaimer that I want to say is I really hope that you guys that are coming by and checking my videos out understand that in no way, shape, or form am I doing these things trying to ignore the disfortunate situation right now that we have going on in the whole global United States and the world. This thing that's going on is really, really sad, really scary for a lot of people, for a lot of good reasons. And I hope that by me doing these, I'm not offending anybody. I'm just basically trying to give a positive attitude, a positive mindset, and basically to try to give each and every one of you guys, the viewers that stop by, new and old, just something positive to look forward to and have an escape and just to have a little bit of fun, to kind of ease your mind if I can in any way, shape, or form. But for all yous out there, please be safe, take care of yourself and your family and your loved ones. Try to avoid as much as possible getting into a situation where it can compromise any of you guys or your family members. So, I hope you understand where I'm coming from and do not lose any single type of respect for me and what I do. So, getting right into it, as you can see, the boxes here are in a nice yellow motif, keeping in line with the same style of the first wave. And we'll turn them around, obviously, really fast, as you can see there. And as you can see, when we turn them around, you have the 3 characters in this wave, which is basically Ochaka, and you see Totoro, and you have over here, obviously, his name I forget again, Karashima, and they have really nice anime cells of each character, and they look really good. In the back, you see how it says 7 points of articulation right there, or 7-inch action figures rather, and in all of their glory. And it's in orange, as you can see here too. The back of the box is an orange motif. It says My Hero on the top, Mcfarlane Toys in the very upper top there, as you can see over here. And the Mcfarlane social medias, and then this telling you that it has 22 moving parts and promotional shots of the 3 figures in this wave. And there is one more that's coming out supposedly, but he is coming out later on for wave maybe 3 possibly, but he was originally intended for this wave, but I don't know really what happened. So there we have this other side where it says My Hero Academia, and in the front, as we turn them around, there is their window bubble display, as you can see right there, their window bubble display. And you see that you have a nice window opening and the cell pictures of each of them in their anime cell form as well. Uchaku here, Shoto here, and Ijiro here. Very nice, looking really cool. Have some of the accessories still in there. So now we're going to take each look at each and every one of the figures one by one and at their accessories and see what they have to offer. And here we have a closer look at Ochaka Uraraka, which is a mouthful to say, and she's also the first female in the My Hero Academia line. And if I'm not mistaken, she's actually the female love interest of the main character, as we all know. So, I haven't finished watching all of My Heroes seasons, so I really am not familiar too much with Uraraka, but I will say from what I'm looking at her as a figure, she looks absolutely beautiful. She has a really beautiful, nice colors in pink, really nicely done. The paint job looks really nicely executed, very clean. In the legs, it looks like these pieces here are not even painted. This is actually plastic pink, if I'm not mistaken, or pink plastic. The parts that are painted is up here in this area, and this figure has a lot of nice things from what I've seen so far as the rubber material, the plastic material, the ease of access and some of the things she has, and like, how you change her Headdress to her helmet, and her quirk, I believe power, is that she can float or fly. I don't know any more further than that. That's what my daughter told me, because she does watch My Hero. But either way, she looks gorgeous. She looks really cartoony. The only thing, her eye expressions or her face expressions are so like hyper animated that she almost looks like in a position where she's frozen in time. A lot of people are saying she looks like she's high on crack or something like that, which I can see that, but I think it gives her more of like if she's a doll frozen, because she doesn't have a smile or a softer expression, and that's the only thing that kind of takes away and detracts from her, and it's a little bit distracting when she doesn't have the helmet. But she does look anime accurate. But I think when she has the helmet, as you guys will see later on, she does look pretty good, and it's not too bad. So let's get her off this and take a closer look at her accessories, and then take a closer look at her. And as you see here, she comes with just a little bit of accessories, not too much, but I think, well enough to warrant with the $20 price point that is targeted, obviously, for these figures. So, first of all, we'll take a look at her helmet that she brings, which is executed really nicely, as you can see, with the clear, mask in the front, and then the pink panels on the side with these very dark, hot pink handles in the back, and then her hair sculpted in, which you change, and you see the peg there where you actually would change to, it can hold grip on the top of the head to hold tightly and securely the actual headpiece to give you the perfect effect. And I think this was the right call, even though they could have easily just did two heads. I think that's the right call. Then she brings two sets of hands. She brings these here, which are basically her open palm hands, which looks like they're her hands when she's in flight. Then I saw that she has this in the bottom of the hands, which at first I thought, what happened? Did they paint her nails backwards? Because that's what it looks like, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's the way it's drawn in the anime. I don't know exactly why, but she has them like that with all of her hands. Then she has another set of hands, 4 in total, but this one comes with one that's open, kind of like a grip, and she's going to hold on to something, and one in a fist position in case she's going to punch someone. So, and then she comes with the other style of stand that Mcfarlane has provided, which I think this is the stand he should make the actual, going forward, the actual standard stand for every single line, because it's really nice and transparent with the see-through clear plastic. It looks really good when he puts the actual font of whatever whatever toy line it is, or whatever series it is that the figure's based off. It looks better, pops out better, He incorporated the peg, so it's good because it holds well in the peg in the bottom. And he incorporated the option where you could put the neck, which plays and you know, works as the flight stand. So it does 2 in 1, and I think it gives it a more elegant look. So these open like so. Then you can flip this over like so, and really fast, because a lot of people I've seen that did reviews. This is the same stand that came with the Superman, classic Superman comic book 1000 version of the DC multiverse. And I've seen a lot of people review that and say that the neck didn't have a swivel, but the neck does indeed have a swivel. It actually does move. I don't know why people didn't see that, but it does move. For some reason, people were saying it didn't, or that theirs didn't. I just think they were scared because you can't really see it, but you can actually move it. And then basically the idea is you slide this here, and it holds really quickly, and it acts as the flight stand, as you can see right there. You know, in all of his glory, right? So that's what she comes with as far as accessories. Now let's take a look at Odorako. So really fast, we'll take a quick look at Odoraka, right? Up close and personal. And I'm going to tell you right away off the top, she really feels really good quality in comparison to Wave 1. You could already feel the difference and drastic changes and alterations and upgrades that they did to the plastic and how the figure, you know, feels and moves. It's not without some problems, but I think the problems are very minimal and outweigh the good, and don't outweigh the good, excuse me. So first thing we'll do is we'll take a quick measurement here, and you'll see that she stands a little under 6 inches. So she's a little short. Well, actually, she's actually at 6 inches. You know, right there. So that's first things first, which is good. So she is a 6-inch figure, not 7-inch, even though it's a 7-inch scale, because she's a female character that is smaller in the show. So now we'll take a closer look at her up close and personal. And there's the face, as you can see, which looks really beautiful. But as I said, because her expressions and her eyes are so wide open, with just the line over her, you know, her mouth there in black, it makes it look like she's almost a ceramic doll and not a anime figure, expressive figure or character. If she would have had a smile with a little bit more detail and definitions here in the actual cheek area, I think it would have helped make her look more like an anime, you know, gesture, as opposed to, you know, the high, being high on crack type of look that she has. She has the nice pink collar and that, you know, obviously that darker pink or more of a hot pink. The hair looks really nicely sculpted with the browns, as you can see there. Has some scratches there, I think from out of the packaging. I'm not sure. I'm trying to see if it comes off. Looks like it came off. Yeah, well, looks really nice and fluffy, and this is really nice and soft and pliable, and they made it really easy to remove, to put her hat on, her helmet, in comparison to Wave 1. And you see the pink here on the shoulders, on the pads. See the highlights of that neon purple, or that, what would be the, like, it's almost like a hot pink on here, on the piece here that goes on the wrist, right here, and then on the belt area that looks like a futuristic belt. She looks like she has a futuristic spacesuit. Nice pink, and the details, she has some nice soft lines to make it look more like in the back, like the anime. And then her arms are black, and these ankle pieces or wrist pieces kind of hide the ball joint, which is really cool and nice. her Botox area. Kind of looks like a shade of blue, and then this is black, but it doesn't look that way really in person. I think it's the camera that does that. It's like a hint of black shade of blue on top, on the plastic, as you can see, even in the front. Then here it looks black on the actual thigh area, and then the boots look really nice. That nice plastic as well. Plastic look. They don't look painted. They look like they're actually pink. It actually looks like it's pink plastic. There you go. There's the high heels with the little black in the back for the high heel, and the tip in the front in that hot pink, and there goes the peg. So looks really nice, even with the belt here, and the paint jobs and applications all look really well and clean cut. So let's just remove her piece and then put it on and see what she looks like with her accessorios on, and we'll be back in a jiffy. So this is what she looks like on the stand, obviously with her helmet on and her flight hands. I try to make it a little bit more dynamic where you guys can see what she looks like. It looks really nice. And the stand, she looks good. And I think the stand works well. This is, like I said, the same stand that came with the Superman multiverse from the DC multiverse, Mcfarlane line, which I think they should make this the standard stand, because I think it's a lot more elegant, and I think it works better, than the black plain stands. So now let's take a quick look at her articulation so we can move on from that point forward. So here we are, and taking a closer look at her. That's what she looks like with the helmet on, which looks really well. So as far as articulation goes, her head goes down this much, and I'm doing it with this piece on so you can see the kind of range you have. It goes down that much, which is very well executed. Then you push your head back and forward, and it goes up that much, like so. Then she has tilt and tilt. Her head is basically on a ball joint, and then it goes left and right. Then as for the shoulders, it goes up that much, as you can see there. Then it does a full 360 degrees, and then she has the butterfly joint. That is actually another piece there, as you can see, and it goes up and down, and it works really well. It moves really good. Then she has the bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, which looks a little bit more rounded than the others, so it doesn't look as ugly, and then, or as weird, I guess, or unclean. And then she has the hinge on the ball joint to go inward and outwards, and obviously swivel. Here in the cut on the torso, on the bottom of the bosom, she has a nice range of ball peg. She goes forward that much with that part there, and she goes backwards that much with that part there. And she has the waist swivel. She has tilt from side to side. Oh, and the ball peg popped out. That's what it looks like, as you can see. Pop it back in. No, but it's nice and seamless. Doesn't seem to be losing integrity or anything like that. And then she has obviously the tilt, like I said, this way. And then she can crunch all the way forward with that bottom waist swivel. This much. She can hyperextend back that much, which is a nice range. Now, as far as the legs, she does not have a lot of swivel. She has a little, but this time it's not the same mechanism that we've been seeing with the other figures. This time they went for, with her anyway, with a ball peg type of mechanism. And what's happening is that when you move the legs too high, like for example, this is her doing the Van Damme split, right? Like so, it's pretty good, but then when you move the leg up, it doesn't want to move up too high. If you leave her standing sideways, you know, that's how she moves. And then going backwards, there's really not a lot either. It's kind of like on a tilt. You know, kind of like on a slant tilt, as you can see. Oh my god, this camera does not want to focus. So you can see. But she does have a double jointed knee. And then no cut in the bottom. But this part here with the boot does move around. And this is what happens. It keeps popping out. It's not that it's loose, but it just pops out really easily. And that's the only thing that I don't like with the figure, that I have a really type of gripe with, because I'd rather it not do that at all. And again, I can show you that it moves all the way around the boot itself. And now it happened on this side, you see? So I just think it's the way that it's done for the sculpt there, you know, because it keeps the sculpt preserved. But if you do want to swivel in any way, shape, or form, excuse me, if you do want to swivel in any way, shape, or form, her head is crazy. As you see, she still has the swivel there. So that's it for her articulation. So overall, I think her articulation is really well done, and I think that it works well with her. And I think she, you know, she's a really nice addition to this My Hero Academia line, and she's gonna fit well with the other characters in it. So what we'll do next is, boom, trying to make sure that I have her in frame. Now we'll take a look at the next following figure. And here we're going to take a closer look at El Jiro Kirishima. And much like Uraraka, this is another strong entry in the line. Again, he's very well executed. The materials in the plastic and the soft goods feel really well and really good and really high quality in comparison to Wave 1. You can tell that they already tried to make many adjustments to these figures, and he's another great example. He looks really great, really nice paint apps with grays and browns, some burgundies with a hint of red on his hair and on his belt, where it has the R for what I would have to assume stands for Kirishima, or maybe his quirk. He has this strap going around him and these bandanas that look like gears on his shoulders. So He is really, really nice looking. He feels really good in your hand, and he has really good articulation. So let's take a look at his accessories and then take a closer look at Katashima. And here are Katashima's accessories. Not much again, but enough to give you some type of different options in posability and in playability. So we'll start off with his stand, which is always really nice, especially when figures don't stand up well, even though Katashima don't have that problem because he has really nice flat feet that makes him stand pretty sturdy. With the My Hero Academia logo, but again, as you can see this in comparison to what I showed you with Uraraka, these are not as elegant as those, so I wish Mcfarlane makes the clear ones, the actual standardized ones. And here is a headdress next here with his hair in a nice fiery red looking, but in person looks more like a darker champagne red with the mask around him. I don't know what role the mask play. I'm pretty sure it's to protect his face when he's in battle. But it's really well done, really nicely cleanly done. Really nice soft plastic, very pliable. Very, very nice looking. And then instead of bringing different hands, it brings a set of arms. And the arms, as you can see, have all these details that make him look like he's turning into stone, or he's a rock man, or his quirk is the power of rock. And it does have the hinging of the double elbow there, but the shortcomings is where the hands are, there's no type of articulation. And I don't know if they did that because if they're supposed to be stone or rocks, his hands, they're one solid piece, and that's how he fights and hurts people or breaks through stuff. So they figured leave it that way and it'll look more seamless, I guess. But one is open as a karate chop, as you see, and one is closed fisted, so like he's gonna punch through something. So it's really, and they're really painted really nice, really nicely painted, and really nice detail all around. So that's what he brought as far as accessories. So now let's look at Katashima himself. And here he is, Katashima, up close and personal. And like I said, he looks really, really cool looking. We'll take a closer look at him. And he looks really nice there. Voila! And there is his face up close and personal. You can see it's really nicely detailed with the reds. Mine has a little paint blemish right there, but nothing too terrible. Maybe you can paint over it. The hair looks really nice in that red champagne, like I said, with the ears. And his teeth line with that line going across like he's cringing. Have a little blemish there inside the white area. And then the pupils are in red with the black dots, as you can see there. And then obviously these little really red tiny eyebrows. And the material on the body is a nice matte. It has a more beige orangey look to it than what you see in camera. You see it more skin tone, but it's a lot more of an orangey color. These things are like a champagne color, like a burgundy champagne. They look like two gears, shoulder straps. I don't know what this is exactly, but he has this as well connected to him. He's bare bones, his hands looking normal. Open grip, you know, normal form. There's an open hand as well. And then the crotch area from the pants, they're really baggy. Then he has this belt that goes around. It looks like a skirt open from the front. And it's tethering all the way around. Really nicely sculpted with that burgundy color as well. And you see that sheen paint job that looks almost like glitter on the inside the paint. The flat gray looks really good. Then he has these nice, you know, really quirky looking boots, if you will, as you can see, in brown with this detail going around in circles, and then the boots themselves, or the tip of the boot and the bottom sole, looking really nice. So as far as aesthetics looks, he looks really, really good, and you know, he looks really accurate, I think, as far as the depiction of what he looks like in the anime. So now let's put some of his stuff on so we can take a look at what he looks like with the accessories on. And here is Shima and his stand with his battle arms and a kickstance, and with his battle mask. And I think he looks really great. He balances really well, and you can obviously put him in a nice position due to the more friendly friendly articulation scheme that they use for him. He does, he's really, he just looks really, really cool. Really, really nice figure. Executed really, really nice. And I think he is going to be phenomenal on your shelf. So now let's take a look at his articulation. So here we have him, and let's take a closer look at his articulation. I'm gonna leave the mask like this so that you guys can see what it looks like up close and personal with the mask. And you can adjust it however you want. Like you can put this a little bit higher to look more anime accurate. Now with these arms, as I showed you before, it has no wrist articulation, so the arms and the shoulders still go up that much, as you see there, and they do go the 180 degrees. He does have those butterfly up and down joint. He has the swivel there, and he also has a double joint elbow. Now, if you're curious to know how it works, obviously what you do is you pull this out like so, and you see the peg there. Then you pull the other arm like so, as you see there with the peg, and then you take the arms that you have and you pop them in like so. Sometimes it'll click, sometimes it'll just go in snug with no clicking. So here you have the other regular arms. When I did that, I moved his headdress. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. That's the only part that's kind of hard to keep, always accurately on him, because the rubber on the headdress is really, really soft. So here we go. Okay, so here he is with his regular arm, same thing. The only difference, they have the swivel. Now they have the double jointed elbows, and again these look rounder, not as rough and rugged as and kind of intrusive as the other ones, and rudimentary as the other figures that he's had in the line so far with other figures. The ball peg really doesn't show much, but it goes up and down and hinges, and it has left and right movement. So you at least have the ball pegs in the wrist with the regular arms, and as you can see there, it's the same with this arm as well. Then he has the torso cut, which is really nice in movement as far as it moves with the movement, and it goes forward that much without that piece. It goes forward that much, and it goes back that much. Now, as far as the head goes, it's a ball peg as well. Double drum. I think the one in the neck also is a separate piece as well. And a ball peg, but I don't move it anyway. It doesn't move for mine too much. So I don't force it, so I don't want to break it, obviously. So his head looks down this much. Looks up. Oh, Jesus. I'm trying to put it on, like I said, without moving the headdress. Goes up that much. Left and right. And he has the tilt. Oh my God, every time you move his face, the mask dress moves everywhere. So, sorry, like I said. It's just you gotta get used to it because it's very soft, so it moves easily as you're putting it on him. You know, but it's okay. There you go. So then he has also a waist swivel, really nicely done. Also moves independently, and it moves forward that much complete with both pieces. And then it moves backwards and hyperextends that much, which is a lot, with both pieces as well, as you can see. Then, as far as the crotch area, this is a very soft, pliable piece. Put it up, and there's the crotch area. And he does the full, again with the headdress. Holy cow, sorry about that. Does the full Van Damme split. Then this part here does move pretty nice, even though the sculpt is all the way in there. It's all the way high in. It still moves nice because it's a softer plastic. So as you can see, still moves, which gives you a nice range of movement. But like the Mortal Kombat figures, he also put swivel here in the knee, and the knee is double jointed as well. As you can see, there's a peg right underneath there and a peg here, so it's still double jointed. And then on the toes, obviously by the boots, it moves forward that much, like so. Moves back that much, which is really nice range. The left and right, the toe pivot, and he has forward pin rockers. Forward pin rockers for that tilt pivot on the feet, for when you want to put them in a stance. So there is Ashima, right? In all of his glory. I'm trying to put the headdress where it stays on the face again, like I said, because it comes off, it slides off really easy because it's so soft and pliable. So, you know, that if I had to make any type of complaint, that would be the complaint, that the headpiece comes out easy but moves very easy once it's on there as well. And I don't know how they could have done it, maybe with two heads, but I think this way not only is more cost efficient, but it's not as hard and doesn't take away from the seamlessness of the face expression that it comes with, obviously. So it's not bad. I think it works well. It's just a matter of having the patience to deal with them. So now let's take a look at the final figure, and definitely not least. Oh yeah, one more thing. Before we do look at the next figure, I forgot. Let's bring in the measuring ruler and see where he stands. And as you can see right there, he stands at around 6 1/4. 6 1/4. So he's about the 6-inch range too. I think these My Hero Academias were done in scale better than any other because we all know All Might is definitely towers over them. So they did them with scalability in mind, which is what I think people wanted for the DC multiverse. And I'm having a problem standing it for some odd reason. That's weird. That's very weird. Alright, so now let's take a look at the final figure. So here we have Shoto Todoroki out of box in all of his glory on the turntable. And as you can see, he's done quite nicely. He has a really nice paint application of a royal blue, or like navy blue basically. And he has some nice highlights of like a soft baby breath yellow on his belt, with the grays fringes hanging from the sides, and obviously with the nice soft gray or light gray boots with dark gray highlights on the heels and in the seam in the front, which would be the zipper, and obviously on his straps that go to the back that look like a backpack with a plate in the back, as you can see in gray. And he looks really good and really nice. Plus he has some nice grays on his on his neck, on the collar, which are painted in a nice dark gray as well. And then his hair, which one side is red, the other side is white, which basically I think is representative of one side is, which would be his left hemisphere, which is our right, is for fire, and then the right hemisphere, which it would be our left, is for ice. I think that is his quirk. He has the power of fire and ice. So let's take him off of this and let's take a closer look at Totoro. Up close and personal, and check his accessories before we get more into detail with him. And here are Todoroki accessories. And again, kind of light, but not too bad considering it is a figure in the $20 to $25 price point. So once again, we take a look at the display stand, round, flat, nice semi-gloss finish with the font of My Hero Academia in white. Simple but all very appreciated. And then his first set of hands, he has two sets, and it's four how you call it, 4 hands altogether. And there is his hands there, that they come basically open, as you can see there. They're opened hands. And then we'll take a look at his other set of hands, which are these right here, and these are closed-fisted hands for his punching action. And then we have 2 separate pieces. One is his fire power, I guess, for nice translucent orangey red. I don't know how well it's coming in there in the camera, but very high gloss and has a very nice translucent orangey look to it, mixed with that let me see if I get it. Oh my Jesus. Mixed with that orange and red. Really, really, really nice. And then his ice effect that looks really much like a piece of ice with the white highlights of frozen sections in the tips. Looks like one big icicle, which is very, very nicely done. The detail, attention to detail is second to none. It's almost flawless, you can see here. Really nicely done. So now let's take a look at Totoro himself. There you go. Much better, right? Much better. So I'll keep saying this over and over and over again. These figures are really, really excellent. A lot of people don't like Mcfarlane toys, haven't really given them a chance because they're only basing their experience off the older stuff. But these figures are really, really well executed, really well done. There is his face sculpt, up close and personal, the white and blue pupil, and red pupil in his eyes, the white inside of him, the white on his hair, the orangey reddish brown on his other side of his hair. Paint job looks really clean. The collar piece on the neck of his suit, you know, the seam lines, the details, everything, the little brown seam lines inside the straps of the plate, the sleeves of the jacket. I think this is the only part here that have a little paint bleeding, which is inside that actual hinge of the articulation, as you can see there, and maybe a little blemish right there, but it's something that you see because I have it up close and personal to the camera, but you would not be able to see that from a distance, you know. And then look, the attention to detail there on the patch of his kneecaps, the zipper on his boots, as you can see, in the heels. These figures are just as good as Bandai's version of SH Figure Arts. Difference being is they're a little bit less cuts and obviously a lot less accessories. But for the $20 price point or the $25 price point, these Mcfarlane figures can't be beat. They really can't be beat. And I can't stress that enough to you, My Hero Academia fans. This is definitely a viable option. These are far and beyond better than what you get with, you know, like Super Dragon Stars from Bandai. I'm telling you, way better figures, way better figures. You know what I mean? At least, and they bring much more accessories, a stand. You know, it's way better executed. So let's put on his accessories and see what he looks like. But before we do that, we'll bring in the measuring ruler and see how far and tall he stands. As you can see, he's again 6 1/4 inches, not quite 7. So they're in scale to match with the taller figures like All Might. So let's put his accessories now. So here we have Totoro with his core powers of ice and fire on his stand in a little kind of dynamic pose. He looks really good. Here's another side view of him. He looks really nice with his powers, and his material is really nice and soft. It feels really nice and kind of premium, and that matte on the royal blue or the navy blue really looks good. It pops really well with the figure, you know. So have him like this, kind of like splayed back. His mechanism of the articulation is pretty insane for him. Gives him a lot of nice range, especially in that torso area. So let's take a look at his articulation. So as far as his articulation, here we go. Take a look at him. Here we have his head, which also seems to be on a ball joint. It looks down this much, like so. It looks, you see how the neck moves independently? Right there. It moves back that much and looks up that much, like so. He has a left and a right. Then obviously he has the tilt and tilt. Very nice tilt. Then on the shoulder, it goes up that much, like so. You see that he has that butterfly joint in there. That moves really well and goes up and down as well. He has that bicep swivel right there, as you can see. It's kind of well hidden, but you know, because it's detailed in the wrinkles and scope, it kind of breaks up, but it's pretty well hidden for the most part. Then on the elbows, you see it's again pretty flat, but it's a double jointed elbow. Then in the wrist is the ball peg, as you can see there. That goes this way, goes back this way, and it swivels independently. Then as for this part here, it's just like Red Strike, the way they did my recently reviewed Cyberpunk Keanu Reeves. You see that it has a nice waist swivel, and it kind of clicks, but it's really smooth, as you can see. But then in here, he also has the ball joint that goes around, and this here is all soft goods. It's almost hollow, but what it does is it gives him a lot of range of movement, so he can again bend over that much, which is insane, with the same thing in the back with a piece like this added to kind of hide it. Then he moves and hyperextends back that much, which is retarded, and still looks like it's covering the inside. This is what he looks like from the side. Then he also has a little bit of tilt, but not much. It's like the tilt in this piece here is not giving, so I try not to break it, but you know, again, it has a nice range of movement. It's there. Then in the legs, again, in the thigh area, he has that scope that goes all the way up, as you see there, but he can do a nice range of the Van Damme split. You gotta kind of fiddle with it a little bit, but he does it, and it's better than a lot of Marvel Legends. Then in the inside, he has the obvious same mechanism that does give you swivel, but it feels like it's restricted. But when you move the leg in certain directions, it gives you a nice amount of range and mobility. It's not that bad, even though it's more restricted than normal. There is the double jointed knee. There's nothing up here in the boot cut, which he probably could have done because of the boots being the way they are. Then here he has the ball joint that moves up this much, moves back that much. Obviously he has the left and the right, and then the actual rocker, forward pin rocker, and then the toe hinge. So for his articulation, he is really, really well done. So, you know, he's not shabby at all, and you guys can play with him really well on your shelf. So now let's take a look at all of them together and maybe do some comparisons with other figures side by side. So here we have the three figures next to each other, standing side by side. These three entries, or latest entries, are really, really nice and are going to go really, really well with the rest of the displays. We can take a quick look at them from the side profiles as we turn them around. For those of you that like to see what they look like as side profiles, that's what they look like there. And in the back, turn them around real quick, right there on the stands, so you can take a look what they look like side by side on the stands from the back. There you have it, and you turn them back around facing this way, and there you have them in the front once again. In the stand, of course, standing side by side next to each other. So they look fantastic. They look fantastic, and I think you guys are gonna love them. So let's push her back, him back, and him back, and let's put some figures next to them, just so you guys can see what they scale like with some other figs. So this is what they look like next to the 80th anniversary Marvel Legends Captain America and the Super Dragon Stars Dragon Ball Super Dragon Stars Bardock from Bandai. As you can see, that's how they stand next to them. In height, it's a little bit, you can see it's pretty evident. Even when I stand capped, let's say straight in his 2 feet like this or like so, you can see they kind of are the same size, but just a little bit bigger because they're 6.5 inch. But that's to give you an idea now. And this is what they scale like next to the Transformers Earthrise Wheeljack and Cliff Jumper. You can see the height difference, which looks really nice. And this is what they scale like next to a bigger, taller figure, which is more on 7-inch as far as the Dragon Stars lines go, which is cooler, as you can see there. And they look pretty good together next to each other side by side. Probably one of the best Dragon Stars so far. So now let's take the definitive ending money shot. So here we have it, guys, what I call the absolute money shot. The entire set so far, wave 1, wave 2 of My Hero Academia from Mcfarlane Toys 7-inch scale adult collectible action figures with their brand new 22 points of articulation moving parts or articulated moving parts. These figures, I think, are really, really fantastic, especially if you're My Hero Academia fan, or if you're just a fan of really awesome looking anime style action figures. Either way, it's a win-win for everyone. I think you cannot lose, and you will not lose. You will be very satisfied, very happy. They're very, 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 very underappreciated, I think, and people are actually, missing out on what they have to offer, even though they may not be as lanky and as accurate as the anime. I think they're a very great representation. So guys, there's my review, there's my outlook, there's my thoughts and unboxing on wave 2. Let me know what you guys think in the bottom below. I hope I was informative and helpful enough to help you out, whether you want to pick them up or not, or if you think they're total garbage and you don't want to. But either way, just let me know in the comments, like I said down below. Leave a thumbs up for a like, leave a thumbs down for a dislike, and share it with someone you think might like the video or the review. And as always, thank you for stopping by if you're new to the channel. And if you're a brand new subscriber, it means the world to me. I really appreciate it because I know you don't have to. But since you did, you become now part of my family. So, like always, if you want to help me out in any way, shape, or form, if you have the means to, even though right now it's not a good time because we're in a time of crisis, you know how. It's all down in the description below with my PayPal account and with my Patreon account. And as always, you can find me on social media, on Twitter as Hebot Powerful Gamer, and in Instagram as C_respect. And of course, I'm going to be opening a Hebot Facebook page very soon. There you have it, guys. This is Hebot, your host, signing off with the next new episode of Toys in My Closet. Love you guys very much. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you on the next one. Good luck hunting them down. You should be able to find them in your local Walmarts and GameStop very soon. Amazon as well. Bye-bye.